All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday, and I am the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic, College to Career, with Bryant Stratton College. Bryant Stratton is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education at 20 campuses located throughout Virginia, Ohio, New York, Wisconsin, as well as an online division. Bryant Stratton College is also a brand new partner of the Imagine America Foundation Scholarship and Award Programs. So your students can actually apply for a scholarship to attend Bryant Stratton College through the Imagine America Foundation. If you'd like more information about our scholarship programs and how your students can apply, please feel free to either contact me after this presentation or visit our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation is Bryant Stratton College, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how Bryant Stratton College is helping meet this need is Crystal Morgan. Crystal has been working in admissions and with high schools for over 15 years. But before turning the program over to Crystal, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 2:25, I will then present any questions offered by the participants and we'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses and follow-up emails if necessary. We'll have a hard close at 2:30 p.m. to be respectful of your time. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Crystal Morgan. Crystal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that warm introduction, and we are certainly excited to be in partnership with Imagine America. As Lee shared, my name is Crystal Morgan. I'm excited to be able to share with all of you today the need for additional career training for your students. So what we'll do is we're going to kick it off. We're going to talk about challenges facing the healthcare workforce. We'll talk about opportunities specifically in the healthcare industry. And then we'll spend some time talking about Bryant Stratton College's path to college and career success. So let's start by talking about the evolving workforce. It's important now more than ever to consider how your students' education is going to prepare them for the workforce that is ever evolving. I think if you take a look at the two charts beside us, the then and now visual of the percentage of jobs that fell, or careers, should I say, that fell in the service industry versus now 80% of all career opportunities out there are really in the service industry. And healthcare is not excluded when you think about excellent service that needs to be provided. The gap between healthcare job openings and hires is growing, and the growth in new job openings isn't done yet. If you take a look, employment in healthcare occupations is projected to grow 15% from 2019 to 2029, which is much faster than the average for all occupations, adding about 2.4 million new jobs. If we take again a look at those healthcare occupations, they're projected to add more jobs than any other occupational group. And the projected growth is mainly due to the aging population, which is leading to greater demand for healthcare services. And by 2026, job openings in the healthcare are projected to soar by nearly 1.3 million. There's a wave of retiring nurses that's creating a growing number of vacancies. And the retirement wave is creating a growing number of hard to fill vacancies in the healthcare workforce. When you think about the shortage in registered nurses, it's projected to spread across the country between 2016 and 2030. A new graduate nurse cannot replace that veteran nurse with decades of institutional and professional knowledge, along with the years of specialty training and practice. And that alone makes it critical to generate a supply quickly so that these graduates can be trained and practiced to mitigate the loss and experience via the retirement wave. Healthcare education will mitigate that supply loss of experienced healthcare workers. In 2010, the Institute of Medicine set a goal of having 80% of the nursing workforce to hold at least a bachelor's in science of nursing degree by 2020. Currently, 56% of all nurses have a bachelor's degree. This is going to help to respond to the decline in experienced nurses via retirement. It will respond to the increasing complexity of care. It will respond to the hospital's hope to earn magnet status. And for that to happen, they must provide proof of plans to increase their BSN workforce. And it's knowledge that BSN prepared nurses experience better patient outcomes and higher competency in nursing practice, as well as increased skills in communication, leadership, professional integration, as well as research and evaluation. So the projected percent of nurses with a BSN or higher education, if 70% of new registered nurses graduates have that BSN or higher degree, and the number of RN to BSN graduates increases to 100,000 per year, we can meet and exceed the 80% threshold by the time we get to 2026. So you can see, looking at the chart above, we could get to 83.7% if we combine the focus of getting students on that degree path, but also making sure that the nurses really understand the importance and the value. When we take a look at overall career growth and specifically healthcare growth, between 2019 and 2029 in the United States, healthcare jobs will grow 15%, LPN 9%, nursing 7%, with all other jobs growing at 3.7%. The median earning in all other areas in the United States is $19.30 per hour. Whereas those students that pursue that LPN opportunity, their median earnings could be $22.83 per hour. And those continuing their education to earn their RN will actually have that median earning of $35.24 per hour. So there's definitely benefit and value to those students who have an interest in getting into the healthcare field to continue to climb the healthcare ladder, not just because the median earnings can be higher, but also we know the job demand is absolutely going to be there. As we think about growing the healthcare workforce via skilled focused education, we can address these challenges. The old way of thinking was get into a college, get a solid education, earn your degree, and start the job search process. The new way of thinking is get into a good and satisfying career. What jobs are going to be a great fit? How do I earn hands-on level of experience? How do I gain the skills that employers need and are looking for? And that's one of the benefits of career education. Instead of coming to college to figure out what it is that you want to do, you're coming to college with a focus on a specific career path that's going to allow you to figure out what jobs within that career path are a great fit, earn that hands-on level of experience, and gain the skills employers need and are looking for. Because we know the number one reason college graduates don't get hired is lack of experience. So through career education, we're able to fulfill that void. So now that we've talked about some of the challenges facing the healthcare workforce, let's talk about opportunities in the healthcare industry. Today's healthcare industry needs an infusion of new nurses, and there is a significant need for educated nurses with a skill such as networking, professional integration, teamwork, research and evaluation, adaptability, critical thinking and creative problem solving, communication, conflict resolution, leadership, and above all, for those looking at clinical, the ability to look at patient care. There are 1.6 million current job openings for nurses and 19% projected growth in demand for RNs by 2024. So as we think about the demand in healthcare, it provides various career opportunities depending on the person's preferences and or goals, such as what is the setting that they prefer, what type of work or what field of study. This provides opportunity in healthcare education for students to take a phased approach to their education, allowing them to experience the profession before deciding or investing in the next educational step in their career. For example, a student who may say, I think I have an interest in helping others or being in that clinical setting, they may get into medical assisting. And when they're taking vitals, drawing blood, doing patient care, may realize this really isn't for me. Therefore, I don't want to continue the path towards an RN. Perhaps I'm going to do something non clinical still in the healthcare field. However, you're going to get those students who come in, realize this is absolutely their passion, their calling, and they're going to start to really refine and start thinking about things like, do I want to work in a hospital? Do I want to work in pediatrics? Can I see myself working in the ER? Do I want something that's a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5? Or am I more open to maybe urgent care needs or emergency room needs, which require me to be more flexible 24/7? And as they're in that phased approach to their education, they're going to start to learn the demands of different careers, what that work schedule may look like, and again, determine what's going to be best for them in the ultimate career path. So, for example, you can see a student could come start their education as a medical assistant, realize that's a great fit, continue on to get an associate's to become a registered nurse, and then ultimately go on for their bachelor's of science in nursing, which, as you recall, we just talked about is so important as we want 80% of all nurses to earn their BSN. So now that we've talked about the challenges facing the healthcare workforce and some of the opportunities that exist, let's talk about Bryant Stratton College's path to college and career success. Who is Bryant Stratton College? For those of you who don't know, we've been around for nearly 170 years educating tomorrow's workforce. We have 19 building-based campuses nationwide and an outstanding online education division. Our top-notch career services assistance at all locations is focused on preparing graduates for career procurement. One of the things you can see is that our programs here locally at our Virginia campuses is stackable options. But when I say stackable options, think about what we just talked about earlier. Someone could go from medical assisting to an associate's in nursing to the bachelor's of science in nursing. So here in our Virginia market, we have 2 campuses, one in Virginia Beach and one in Hampton. And our students also can take that stackable approach. So they can start out with a diploma program in either medical office assistant or medical billing and coding. You can move to the associate's degree level and get the associates in medical assisting and associates in medical admin assistant, medical reimbursement and coding, or that associates in nursing where they could sit for the NCLEX and earn their RN certification. For students who want to continue on beyond the associate's level, they can still continue in that healthcare program of study to earn a bachelor's of health service administration, a bachelor's in medical services management, or get that bachelor's in nursing through our RN to BSN option, which would be partnered with our online campus. So let's take a look at our industry-aligned medical wing. It provides students with hands-on instruction that will help them gain real-world experience that today's healthcare employers need and are looking for. In this environment, students will study theory, learn assessment skills, learn and apply soft skills in a clinical classroom environment, which not only enhances their learning experience, but it prepares them for a successful transition into their healthcare careers. They do all of this under the instruction and guidance of highly experienced and qualified healthcare faculty. One of the things that we've had to do to meet the needs during this pandemic is to ensure that as we're preparing tomorrow's workforce in the healthcare industry, that we're able to make sure we do so in a CDC compliant environment. So for our students in the healthcare program, they will complete any clinical or skills-oriented classes on site in that CDC compliant environment. For all other programs and non-skills or clinical classes, we afford students the opportunity to learn in a blended learning environment. These are two important components of Bryant Stratton College's blended learning process. The first component is related to instruction. Our blended learning splits the instructional experience evenly between face-to-face class meetings and virtual instruction that occurs online. The second component is related to the virtual online learning. Students will be engaged in their online virtual environment to complete their homework, class preparation, and assignments. But the best part is students are never alone. The online virtual components of the course can be completed based on the student's schedule, and they'll have the same instructor available for feedback, guidance, and support through all of the online virtual activities. One of the things that students have shared with us as one of the best features of blended learning is support. There's classmate interaction, access to computer labs, a question forum, and regular instructor interaction, face-to-face connections with career services professionals there to support them, direct instructor contact with real-world experience, on-campus and virtual tutoring, 24/7 access, and of course, our virtual library and librarians. When we talk about students that are looking to continue their education with a career focus, it speaks to the fact that most students aren't going back to college or going to college for the first time because they want the additional education. Many of them are going to college with the expectations of gaining a career. And so here locally in our Virginia Beach and Hampton market, you'll notice some of the places that our healthcare graduates get hired are Centera, Bon Secours, Chesapeake Regional Medical Center, Anthem Blue Cross, Henrico Doctors Hospital, CHKD, and this is really just to name a few. We don't want to leave out students that have interest in non-healthcare programs. While today's discussion is really related on the healthcare industry, the same way that we can take that stackable approach to assisting students that have an interest in the healthcare field, we also have programs of study in legal services, business, technology, and education. So if you're listening and you think, wow, this could be a good college opportunity for one of my students, but I don't think they're looking at healthcare, that's okay. We can certainly help them to put them on the right path in one of these other areas of study. We certainly don't want to forget about our Bobcats athletics. One of the things that's great and unique about our college setting is that in addition to being career focused, we also are able to give our students that traditional college experience with college athletics. At our Virginia Beach location, we have men's baseball, women's softball, men's basketball, women's basketball, track and field for both men and women, junior varsity basketball for men, esports, which is hot and upcoming, and of course, we also have added women's volleyball. We'll continue to add additional sports as there's an interest from our students. But what's great about Bobcats athletics is even if you're not a student athlete, it allows you an opportunity to be with your peers, to support the athletes as spectators. And in our CDC compliant environment, we may not be able to go to their games, but we've actually launched virtual sites and streaming so that we can follow them even when we can't be there with them in person. The resources that are available to your students, it all starts with the admissions team. Our admissions staff is here to support your students throughout the admissions process. We will offer individual support with a mission of easing the stress of the college decision process while ensuring strong dialogue about career fit and success versus solely focusing on the application. Each student is assigned a personal admissions representative. They are extremely supportive and available to give them admissions support and guidance. We are offering virtual and on-campus tours. We'll go through career fit exploration and then help with every step in the enrollment process. The next department that students would interact with would be our financial aid team. And our financial aid team is second to none with the level of support that's provided. For many of our students, this may be the first time they're ever experiencing college. And because of that, they may not be familiar with things like how to request an FSA ID, how to complete a FAFSA. Is my parents' information needed on the FAFSA? And so our financial aid advisors are here to answer questions carefully and patiently, outlining each student's financial aid plan, walking through things that they may be eligible for, such as grants, loan, and scholarship. And we're looking for ways to provide the level of support that takes the stress out of the financial aid experience. And then, of course, once the students have decided on a program, they know how to make college affordable, they know they're ready to move forward. The support of our academics team, from their instructor to their advisors, are here to support the academic success of each student. And because we know the more successful your students are academically, the more likely they are to succeed professionally, every student has access to an academic team that will go the extra mile to ensure their success. Through free tutoring and advisement, accessible instructors who are versed in the industry in which they teach, and a dedicated team committed to each student's academic success. When students are getting close to nearing graduation, they'll really begin working with our career services team. And our career services team, their primary mission is ensuring that every student and soon to be graduate is prepared for and supported throughout the career search and acquisition process. Our relationships within the local community provide robust opportunities for graduates regardless of program of study. We'll help with things like resume prep and assistance, interview prep to include mock interviews with actual employers, general career advisement, and even assistance with locating and leveraging internship and practicum experience. So how can we partner? Whether you have a specific student in mind or not, we have the ability to partner with all high schools in a variety of different classes, and we can build workshops custom that meet the needs of your classroom. You can see on the right some of the topics that we have: resume writing and interviewing skills, personal branding, social media, high school versus college. But really, we can custom build workshops that meet your curriculum and your needs. Some of the formats: ultimately, we want to do what works best for you and your students to make sure that the workshops are engaging and informative. Our preferred method would be to set everything up via Skype. But if you have a preferred method, we can also invite you using Zoom or Google Hangouts, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, whatever it is that you're using for your classes, we have the ability to meet you there. Other ways that we can partner: we can set up in-person or virtual bus trips or field trips. College career days, again, can be done virtually or in person. Setting up college fairs: though we do participate in local college fairs, we can work with you to design a fair for our local campuses and online education. And then, of course, financial aid fairs. We can work with you to host a financial aid information session available to students and parents of students that focus on preparing for the financial aid process. To learn more about our workshop offerings and availability, or to book a workshop at your school, my contact information is being provided. You can reach out to me directly, and I'll be putting you in contact with our local market director, Caroline Goodwin Harris. We need you to know that you play an important role. Counselors and teachers truly are the career catalysts that help change and mold lives. You may not realize it, but you may be the only one giving students real facts about college and career readiness. High school students need to learn and understand how high school prepares them for college and how college will prepare them for a career. You may be the only one that provides the motivation needed to think about and pursue a successful life after high school, starting with attending college and deciding on what college is best for them. You are often the conduit between your student and the college or colleges that best fit your student and the interests and career aspirations. So as you take the information from today's workshop and you pass it along to your students, please recognize that we realize Bryant Stratton College may not be the right college for every student, but if you do have students that are undecided about next steps, we call those our undecided seniors. We are more than happy to sit down and have those discussions. And even if Bryant Stratton isn't the college that's going to help to get them there, we're able to have those conversations to help put them on the right path, because again, we're here to partner. So with that, you can research us and follow us online. Our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram links are to the right. Our website for both athletics and non-athletics, again, check us out. And if you have any further questions, again, my information is being provided. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Lee.
Awesome. Okay, we are now going to be starting the Q&A portion of our session. So if you have a question, please feel free to type it into the Q&A here in this Zoom meeting. It does look like we have a question that came in. This person wants to know about your most popular program for high school seniors. Is that medical assisting? Is it nursing? Is it something else? What would you say is probably the most popular program for your high school seniors?
So I would say for our seniors, our most popular program would be medical assisting or criminal justice, actually. We get a lot of students coming in with that legal interest, want to come in and learn more about the legal force. But medical assisting is definitely another one. We have a few students that jump right out of high school right into the nursing program, but many of our students do take more of a stackable approach. That jump from high school directly into nursing can be a bit much.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Okay. This person wants to know about SAT or GPA requirements. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Absolutely. So for SAT and ACTs, neither of those are required to get into the college. We will certainly take a look at those for potential scholarship opportunities, things to help in that nature, but neither are required to actually enter the college. And as far as GPA requirements go, same thing. There is not a GPA requirement to be accepted to Bryant Stratton, as we have our own entrance assessments that students will take before entering the college. But again, we're going to take a look at those GPAs because there may be some academic scholarships available to some of those higher end GPA students.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. This person wants to know about housing. Is there housing available at either your Hampton or your Virginia Beach campus?
Absolutely. So our housing options exist for our Virginia Beach location. So any student that's in need of housing, whether they are an athlete or non-athlete, we would have them to work with our Virginia Beach location, as that's the campus that we have housing.
Okay. All right. Well, we did say we would be closing. We are a little bit early, but let me just outline a few house cleaning items here. I will be compiling and forwarding the recording of this session. You should receive something from me likely tomorrow morning. This will also be placed on our website, www.imagine-america.org. There is a quick follow-up survey when you leave this meeting. If you wouldn't mind answering those 5 questions for us, really kind of helps us hone in on maybe anything we missed or anything else you'd like to hear in future presentations. But before closing, I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. I know this year is even more hectic than usual for you all. And so I just want to echo that statement that we really appreciate your time today. I also want to thank Crystal for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage each one of you to contact her directly with any future questions you may have. But on behalf of the foundation, Crystal and myself, I want to thank you all and goodbye.